Hello fellas, Cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing First Reformed. Now this was a film that came out a while ago, but I was unable to see it and unable to get hold of it until now. And it was nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars last year, I think, or this year. I'm not quite sure which one. So this is written and directed by Paul Schroeder, the man behind the script of Taxi Driver, and this feels a lot like it in many ways. It stars Ethan Hawke, Amanda Seyfried, and Cedric Kyles. The story really focuses on Ernest Toller, played by Ethan Hawke, a troubled priest of a small historical church in upstate New York, who starts to spiral out of control after a soul-shaking encounter with Mary and her husband Michael, an unstable environmental activist. He ultimately is consumed by thoughts that the world is in danger, and motivated by the church's lack of action, Toller embarks on a perilous self-assigned undertaken with the hope that he may restore the faith and purpose he's been longing for in his mission to right the wrongs done by so many. I really like this film. I think Paul Schroeder's done a really great job, and I think this is his best film in quite a while. It sort of reminds me in certain elements and scenes of Taxi Driver and the sort of unsettlingness to that film, and this sort of has that as well. And it sort of follows this one particular character. And in Taxi Driver, there's a voiceover used to explain it. In this, it's him writing in a journal, and that journal is used as a voiceover for the film. We get to learn about his internal feelings and mental state, and we get to see behind the curtain into this man and who he is and what he's been going through, and his struggles that he faces every day. I think Ethan Hawke is really great in this. He's one of my favourite actors, and even though some of the films he's in aren't great, his performance is always fantastic and solid. And this is the first time he's got a really solid role to sink his teeth into. And he's able to shine within this film and does a fantastic job. And he doesn't say a lot within the movie, but it's just the way he expresses himself is just interesting and fascinating to watch. And you get a real sense of Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver as well. Not as burnt out, not as crazy or damaged as Travis Bickle is, but Ernest Toller is sort of that damaged character. And it feels like Paul Schroeder actually has something to say. A lot of his good films are like this, where he actually has something to say. And he's looking at crisis of faith in this. He's looking at the world and how it's changed and evolved and it's gone sort of dark. And that's what the film really feels like. He has something to say and he's trying to express it. And his own crisis of faith, I think, as a person. And the extremeness that people do go to, and how the world is in peril, and how you can lose hope and you can become full of despair and just don't see the point in many things within life and in the world and what's transpiring, and how we're destroying the earth, how human beings are destroying the land, killing off animals, destroying trees, and making the world a very uninhabitable place in certain areas. And this film really looks at that. It asks a lot of questions, and it ultimately just shows this person for who he truly is. And I sort of felt drawn to this character. I felt hooked to him. I was interested in what he had to say, and I wanted to see his journey. I was glued to this film, which I haven't been in a long time, and I was really thoroughly impressed with what I did see. It's shot differently too. It's shot like an old TV sort of screen, the 4:3 or the 1:33 ratio. And it's an intimate sort of way it's shot. And a lot of the shots represent that. They're shot very close together. It's very intimate. We're experiencing what the character's experiencing. It's like it's a fly on the wall look at these guys' lives. But we're just right in there. And it's very intimate and well crafted scenes. Most of the scenes take place in one shot. And it's either a character coming in now, and a character talking, a voiceover. It's just really well put together. It's like Paul Schroeder knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he executed the way he wanted to. The framing of the shots, everything was executed brilliantly. The music used was good. There wasn't a lot, but the bits that did have music in were quite good. And there's a couple of sequences that are quite powerful in the execution of what he's trying to do. And I really liked that. It was kind of different. It had a real David Lynch Lost Highway feel about it. This idea that some things aren't quite right. There's darkness just under the surface trying to break its way through. And people are trying to contain that and stop that from happening. And that's what the film feels like. Amanda Seyfried is really brilliant. One of the best roles I've ever seen her in. And she gives such a great performance. And to see her and Ethan Hawke bounce off each other as actors is really fantastic. And you get immersed in these with these two characters, and you care for them, and it really starts to get you thinking about your life and your beliefs and what you feel the state of the world is. Drew from this, even though the world's in a bad state, there is still hope. There is ability for us to focus on the good things out there and to try and do our little part. And I think that's what this film sort of looks at. It does look at the idea of terrorism as well, and how that sort of environmental activists and the terrorism that they sometimes become part of as an extreme thing to prove their point, to show that the world and the environment is being destroyed by us. And I think that's a very extreme thing, but it's quite relevant for what's going on in the world today. And I think it's a great representation of the things that we're facing. I thought it was one of the best written scripts I'd heard and seen in quite a while. And the execution of it was absolutely fantastic. Paul Schrader should be very happy with himself, with the film he's been able to make and deliver, and I've been really impressed with it. And I want to go back and watch some of his other films that he wrote and directed, because I just think he's quite an original and unique voice within filmmakers today. There's a lot of repetitiveness, a lot of sequels and prequels and superhero movies. It's good to see a good solid drama written and directed by someone who knows what he's doing and has a story to tell and has something to say. This film has quite an interesting ending. I'm not going to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but it's a kind of ending where you have to make up your own mind what you think transpired. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I actually had to watch the ending a couple of times to really wrap my head around what was happening, and I kind of liked that. I like films that make you question things, try and work out what's going on. They leave you with a bit of mystery. They don't give you everything. They allow you to try and solve what's going on. And it's a film I'd probably go back to and watch again and want to learn a bit more about. Final verdict. Look, if you like a good, solid, well-written thriller drama, you might enjoy this. If you're a fan of Ethan Hawke or Amanda Seyfried, or if you like Paul Schrader as a filmmaker, you'll probably get a lot out of this. It is hard-hitting, it asks a lot of questions, it looks at faith and the environment and what we're doing to it as human beings and how the world has gone crazy in particular areas. There's a lot of chaos. You might kind of enjoy this. If you just want something a bit different, I definitely recommend this. I'm going to give First Reformed 4.5 out of 5. I enjoyed myself with it. I thought it was an interesting film, asking a lot of interesting questions, looking at the idea of faith, belief, and the environment, and us as human beings and what we're capable of. And I really like that aspect to it. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.